It's just like you know, I'm not here. Let's get out of that. Come on. Vamos,
Comment that video when you play me good.
Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, profitable traders. So good to have each and every one of you around for the market color session. Today being the 25th of April 2025. If this is your first time joining in for the market color session, so good to have you around. And please do not go anywhere. We do this every day, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. Nigerian time. So for this segment of the market color session, I will be analyzing the XY, GBP USD, and Euro USD. Right after me, Lekon will be coming for his own analysis on gold and the yen basket. As our culture is here, I'd like to crave our indulgence, kindly share the link to this market follow session with everyone on our various social media platforms so that this can get to as many people as possible and they can participate in what we have ongoing here. It is absolutely free, so they are joining at no cost at all. We're giving us 30 seconds to kindly share the link to this market follow session with everyone, and then we will head straight to the chat for today's analysis. Right, we're back from the very brief break that we went on. I hope we did justice to sharing the link to everyone on our various social media platforms. So on the XY, I usually like to start from the monthly time frame to see what price is doing. Right, as we can see right here, price has broken below this very liquidity residing here, implying a grab of liquidity on the monthly time frame. And on the weekly time frame right here, I can see something very interesting. The classic box pattern strategy that we use in entering the market here. The shoulder right here at 107.6, 107.606, right? A sweep to the upside, a break to the downside. And where do I think price is coming into? Price should retrace into this very left shoulder right here on the weekly time frame. And of course, we know that this is going to take place over a very long period of time. So this is a long-term view, so to say. And on the daily time frame for DXY, I can actually spot if an order block right here. Price is bearish, right? So I want to see price retracing into this very order block at 102 spot at 102 spot 833. Right. So, and on the 4 hour time frame too, on the 4 hour time frame, pretty much the same thing. We're seeing even more bearishness to the downside. So where are my various points of interest for continuing the sell on the XY? I want to see price retracing into this very level, this very Fed value gap right here at 101.514, and subsequently trade into this very level 102.191. So I have two various points of interest for the sell on DXY, right? So I'm looking out for a buy to sell, right? A buy into this very level, a buy into these very levels that we have called out, these various points of interest, and a sell of it. So if I'm looking out to buy DXY for today, where am I looking for entries? Where am I looking to enter the market? Where am I looking to enter the market to, take opportunities for the buy on the XY? You may be wondering. I can actually spot an entry right here, right? Shoulder right here, sweep to the upside, sweep to the downside, I beg your pardon, break to the upside. All I want to see price do is retrace into this very left shoulder at 99.347. Once price retraces into this level, I am confident enough, I am willing to take the buy of the XY all the way to these very levels, right? These various points of interest, 101.514, and subsequently into 102.191. Please take note of the various entry points that we're calling. And you could even place your pending order at this spot for price to trigger and take the buy on the XY. So my outlook is actually a buy to sell, a short-term buy and a long-term sell on the XY. Down to GBP USD. On the monthly time frame, we can see that price is even, bearish. Nothing has really changed for us to, change our bias from a sell to a buy yet. And on the weekly time frame, price was supposed to respect this very left shoulder right here. And all we saw was a box pattern failure. Shoulder here, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. We were expected to see some reaction once price retraces into this very left shoulder at 1.32796. Instead, private activity reacted and was going to keep selling to the upside, and to the downside rather. All we saw was a break to the upside, right? A continuation of the buy, and we're speculating that price should take out this very high right here at the high at 1.34120. We're speculating that price should break above this very high, but instead price just traded into this high, and we're seeing some reaction of that level. On the daily time frame, pretty much the same thing. This box pattern was meant to hold, price retraced into this very left shoulder, was supposed to trade all the way to the downside, but then we saw price breaking above, and there was a box pattern failure, traded into this very high, and has failed to break above yet, of course. So we're seeing some reaction of this very high, right? So where do we think price is going to? I'm looking for more buy opportunities on the XY, but of course I want to buy when I see price at some discount level. So there's the classic box pattern right here. We may be wondering why we always emphasize on the box pattern. That's what we actually use for analysis during the market color session. So there's the shoulder right here, a sweep to the downside, a break to the upside. All we want to see is price retracing into the shoulder at 1.28835. So for the XY, I'm looking out for a sell to buy. And of course, if I'm looking to take the sell opportunities all the way to our point of interest, which is the left shoulder on the 4-hour time frame, where am I looking to take the sell opportunity from? Right. There's the left shoulder right here at 1.33294, right? A sweep to the upside, a break to the downside. I want to see price retracing into 1.33294, and once price gets to that level, I will be pulling the trigger for a sell on GBP USD. Last on my list, Euro USD. On the monthly time frame on Euro USD, we can see that price is still, bearish. We can actually see a, grab of liquidity right here. Price ranged for a while, and we saw some massive move to the upside on the monthly time frame rather. And on the weekly time frame too, we can see that price actually took out this double top right here. Liquidity residing above, price broke above, and price is trading all the way. And on daily time frame too, on daily time frame, there was a box pattern figure right here. Price failed to react off this point all the way to the downside. All we saw was some break to the upside. Please confirm if you can hear me. Someone said they can't hear me. Wayne EB said he can't hear me, but I'm pretty sure I am very loud, right? And others can hear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for confirming that. Right. On the daily time frame too, right? I'm looking out for price to retrace into this very level right here. Looking out for price to retrace into this very fair value gap at 1.1136.1, right? So once price retraces into this level, I will be continuing the buy on Euro USD. And on the 1 hour time frame too, on the 1 hour time frame, pretty much, we want to see price retracing into this very left shoulder right here. There's shoulder right here, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. We want to see price retracing into 1.10051 on the 1 hour time frame, and we will be continuing the buy on Euro USD. Down to the 15 minutes time frame, if I'm looking out to, take the sell opportunity, right? Since we're looking out for a sell to buy, where am I comfortable taking the sell from? Classic box pattern, right, on the 15 minutes time frame. Shoulder right here at 1.13859. Flip to the upside, break to the downside. Price should retrace into 1.13859. And once price gets to this very level on the 15 minutes time frame, I'm willing to pull the trigger for a sell all the way to this 1 hour left shoulder at 1.10051. Right. Please, if we have questions at this point, if we have a different bias, different outlook on what we're seeing in the market, kindly type in chat box. And while we're still typing in chat box, registration for the FX Bootcamp training is still ongoing. Very limited slot available. The training takes place from next week, the 28th of April through Friday. Please, you can chat us up on 081 6099 5030 to reserve your slot. We're going to be having a very amazing time together, teaching other strategies that we use in entering the market. Right. So there are no questions. So I'm pretty going to assume that the analysis was pretty clear. Right. So right after this break that will be going on, they will be coming up for his analysis on gold and the yen basket. I wish you a profitable trading day. Cheers and God bless. Do not go anywhere. We're going on a very brief break and we're coming up again for analysis on gold and the yen basket.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. This morning, we are going to be analyzing the precious metal. So we're going straight into the analysis of the precious metal. Please, can my screen be enabled, please? All right, so we are going to be analyzing straight to the precious metal right now. Let's start our analysis from the weekly time frame. What exactly is going on the weekly time frame? Okay, if you look at the weekly time frame, clearly you are going to observe that what price is currently doing. I believe everyone can see my screen. On the weekly time frame, you are going to observe that price has been very bullish all the way to the upside. However, this week happens to be a sell week for the precious metal. You can see the current weekly candle. So what we are expecting, if today's trading session closes to be a bearish day for the precious metal, then that really means that we are going to continue next week again, even though there is much more probability that we still see the long. But from the weekly time frame, we can see very clearly that all the way to the upside, the precious metal is bullish. However, this week is a bearish week for the precious metal. So let's check it on the daily time frame too. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, you are going to observe how that price created a new all-time high on Tuesday, and that is a very significant one because we've not really seen gold traded to the 3,500 level, and that is a very strong psychological level, 3,500. And from that price level, it's been selling all the way down since Tuesday morning. All right, and let's look at it from the 4-hour time frame. But before we go to the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that price has been coming all the way down. You see what price has been doing. But we are looking at when price retraces a little bit more to this particular level here, we are going to see price, sell all the way a little more. And this is more like a flip zone somewhere here. Then from this place, we may now see continuation back to the upside again. All right, so that is the first probability. However, if this week candle closes bearish, that means the opening of next week into Tuesday or Wednesday next week, we may still see just a little pullback, then continuation of the sell because it is highly overpriced. Now, if you follow our analysis in 2024, we actually have a projection that we are expecting the pressure to
Apologies for the breaking transmission. Deacon is having a bit of a network glitch, but he will be back analyzing. Do not go anywhere. Kindly stay on course, and his network will be back. Please, apologies for the inconvenience.
in transmission, I have a little network glitch. All right, so let's quickly continue for the what you are seeing on the precious metal. I believe everyone can see my screen right now. So for the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that price is currently giving more like a bus structure on the 4-hour time frame for itself, which is this is the shoulder. We've seen the sweep and we've seen the first break to the downside, which is you can see how the price closes below, even though it's a week that it closes below. However, we see how price retraces back to the shoulder level and now is already pulling back to the downside. So that is for the precious metal on 4-hour time frame. Now, moving forward, just as we said, we expect that this sell is going to happen truly for today. Then we expect it to push very much more to the downside, meaning we are likely going to see something like this as price is reacting currently. So this is more of a flip zone here. What we have somewhere here, let's have this drawn here. Okay, so this is the flip zone around this level, and you can see how that price is trying to itch towards that level. So we expect a pullback to this flip zone, one. However, we have a violated support zone, a resistance zone here that is likely going to be a support. So that will be the next POI2 for any action for the precious metal moving forward. All right, so that is it on the precious metal for today. Now, for the lower time frame, we expect that we are going to see this. Remember, this is the first level, while this is the second level, meaning there is high probability if the sell continues next week or even today, price trade into this level here. And as you can see, we have the flip zone and also the fair value gap inside of it here. That is on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you look at the 1-hour time frame, what do we have on the 1-hour time frame? Now, for the 1-hour time frame, you already have a market structure shift clearly clean. You can see it. This is the shoulder here, and we have the massive sweep, and price is forming low to the downside. All right. So moving forward for the 1 hour, this is what we still expect. We still expect price to push a little bit more to the downside, meaning it's more of a retracement for price to start buying. But let's quickly check something again on the 4-hour time frame. There is a level here. You can see at this flip zone here. So the probability that price is highly going to come here is very high. So what you should look out for currently moving forward for the precious metal is opportunity to sell short shortly, while if you see your buy signature, you also take it because that is the overall trend. So the sell is more like trading against the trend, but it is expected, which is the pullback. So on the 15-minute time frame, what is exact point that we are looking out for? Now, for 15-minute time frame, we see how price came to close the void that we have yesterday, and that is exactly what price did this morning. So moving forward, it gave an entry for a buy somewhere here this morning on the 15-minute time frame to the upside. But if you look at an overview of what is really going on in the market, you are going to observe that price has been given a sell structure since on Tuesday all the way to the downside, turning supports to resistance. And that is currently what is going on for the precious metal. So if you are looking for opportunity to buy, that is going to be that zone we mark on the 4-hour time frame for the precious metal. So right now, the only opportunity we have is if you see a sell opportunity, then you can easily take through. Now remember, our sell signature is we are going to look at it at the the FS Bootcamp class. But somewhere something like this, if you see something like this on the those who register for our FS Bootcamp, they know what the signature is. So somewhere here we have the sell signature there. Why, if you're also looking out for the buy signature too, just as after the massive sell-off, we see buy entry, we follow through again. So that is what has been going on the precious metal. So on the other hand, let's quickly check what is happening on the yen basket. So for the yen basket, right from the daily time frame, we are going to observe for the daily time frame, all we have is price has been itching all the way to the upside, and our prediction for this week is that we expect price to trade all the way to this high, then a pullback for it to gain more momentum to break out of that zone. But right now we are seeing that it's more of pushing to the downside before pushing to the upside. Now, if that is what is going on, let's check 4-hour time frame so that we can have more clarity. Now, you can see after the expansion, price has entered again into a consolidation phase. And that is one thing we know about the yen basket, that it enters the consolidation phase a lot. So now that it has entered the consolidation phase, what should we look out for and expect? We should look out for it, still retracing more to the downside, particularly into this reference point on the daily time frame. Look at this reference point on the daily time frame, which is this other block on the daily time frame. So that is our POI. That is where we are looking at price coming into on the daily time frame. So we are seeing price, retracing all the way to this level. Then we can easily start buying. Now, if this is what we are expecting on the yen basket, what should we now look out for on the yen correlated pair? Meaning, if the yen basket is selling, then we should look out for buy opportunities on the yen correlated pairs. However, if we go to the 1 hour of the yen basket, you are going to see some levels where you can see price has been pushing to the downside after a long consolidation. You can see after a long consolidation, we see a break to the downside again. But it won't just remain in the down part. It's going to retrace a bit. which means in the course of the retracement, we should look out. If we see any sell signature on the yen correlated pair, we can easily follow through. And for the yen correlated pair, we have GJ and EJ, GBP/JPY and EUR/JPY. For GBP/JPY, let's quickly check GBP/JPY. You are going to observe the massive buy that has been happening for GBP/JPY, and there is a level on the daily time frame. Now let's see on the daily time frame of GBP/JPY. We can see how that price has pushed all the way back up on GBP/JPY, and where we are still expecting it to get to is for it to reach this particular flip zone. However, after clearing this void, you can see how price traded into this void. When you begin to see your sell signature inside of this void, then we expect a push to the downside. Why? Because of this level that we have here. You can see this is a support that was broken. So when price gets there, we expect it to turn a resistance. And if you go to your lower time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, you are going to see it gave an entry signature, which is this, to the downside. So that is the current trade for the day on GBP/JPY. However, if you look at EUR/JPY compared to EUR/JPY, EUR/JPY has not really given its own signature, even though it has traded into a very key level here. So let's look at it from the daily time frame. Good. If you look at EUR/JPY from the daily time frame, it becomes even much clearer on the 4-hour time frame. Good. This is it on the 4-hour time frame. We can see the sweep of liquidity here. Then it builds more liquidity, and we expect price to start pushing to the downside. And that is where price is currently now. So right now, all we are looking out for EUR/JPY is an entry signature for us to go short for EUR/JPY, of which price has not given, but it already gave on GBP/JPY. So that is the analysis for the yen correlated pair and also for the precious metal. If you have any question, you can easily type in the chat box, then we look at it together. All right. Please, any question, so we can quickly look at it together before we call it a day. Remember to trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy because of what is really going on, the trade war that is currently going on. So you should trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. All right. So if there's no any question, this is going to be the end of the London session market analysis. Till meet again by 2 p.m. in the afternoon for the New York recap. And by that time, we believe we are going to see, okay, Obizino said, please, entry point for gold. All right, for gold right now, this is what we have for gold. Just a quick one, I'm coming. For gold, what we are expecting is when we see more sell opportunity, we'll follow through. But right now, price is already more at a discount level. And today being Friday, reason being that if you look at the daily time frame, we are going to see we have a sell-off since Tuesday, Wednesday, and even early hours of today. So we are expecting that price is likely to sell into this flip zone first, then into this one second. So if we see any sell entry currently now, there's no any entry signature right now for the precious metal sell. This could have been the best one we would have taken earlier, early hours of today around 6 a.m., but it already delivered. And right now, there's no any entry currently. So the only thing I'm even seeing right now is more of a buy, and the buy is just going to be a retracement to the upside. Now, the buy, if you want to take it, you may easily take it somewhere here with your stop loss just below this zone. Or if you have enough room, what you should know about gold right now is it requires a very big stop loss right now because of the volatility currently going on. All right, so if you can take your entry here with your stop loss just below this candle here, all right, that would be the first one. But the overall move is I am looking more for a sell opportunity instead of a buy because of the overpricing that has currently happened on gold. Does that make sense? But if you want to give a short of this buy because of the signature that we see here, you may give it with your stop loss just below here and that is going to be less than 40 pips SL. All right, so that is that for the precious metal. Is there any other question, please? If there's no question, this is going to be the end of the market call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading. Once again, make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. I'm Lekon Shemi. Till meet by 2 p.m. Cheers and God bless.